All right, I am in.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. Blue Rings, how's it going?
Alhamdulillah, pretty good. It's been a minute since we've seen each other, honestly.
It has been a minute. It's been since last Ramadan when you came to Chicago and we had all those PM nights and we were chilling and all that, and then you just went back to Cali, man. What's the deal with that?
Oh yeah, yeah. It's been a journey for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, definitely, man. But you know what? It's funny because we met each other for about maybe just like 2, 3 weeks. And then we never saw each other again. But it's like when you have like this type of friendship, it's like all you need is 2, 3 weeks to solidify a lifetime friendship. Alhamdulillah. Some people you know them for years and stuff, and it's like you're not close with them at all. You don't talk to them at all, and then you have like people who you just vibe with, and then you just like right away like yeah, this is gonna be a friendship that lasts.
No, that's for sure. Yeah, because yeah, like you said, I mean, there are people that like you'll know for years, right? And like you might even see them every day, but there won't be like any actual bond with them, right? Whereas if you meet someone, maybe you only know them for a small amount of time, but the bond might be even closer, right? Even if they live very far away.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, definitely. But I mean, it's good. I'm happy that you asked me to be on this podcast. This is great. Actually, I wanted to start my own podcast when I was a little younger, when I was early in college,
Oh,
and
really?
I started a YouTube channel, funny enough, and like I was doing like spoken word type of stuff there, and I was kind of just experimenting with technology, and I realized, yeah, maybe this is not for me.
Really?
I'm kind of tech savvy, but I'm not very tech savvy, so I'll leave it to the experts.
Well, I appreciate it. I think I actually did see some of your videos, funny enough.
Did you actually?
Yeah, I actually,
That's
I remember, yeah, because like even your Instagram name, I think it's like it's like Usaid Talks, I think, right? Something like
yes.
that, right? And I always
Yeah.
thought that was very like podcast style, like that name.
That was the aim. That was the initial aim because it was like Usaid Talks. That was gonna be, my podcast name thing. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna have like a whole studio set up. I'm gonna have like a microphone similar to the one that you have right now, actually. And I had an editing system that I had access to. I think it's called Adobe Premiere Pro. And I was gonna go all out on that, but just it never happened. Bakash fi nasib, as we say in Arabic.
Right.
Yeah.
What does that phrase mean?
Like fish nasib, like it wasn't meant to happen, basically.
Oh, that's
Yeah. At least not right now. Who knows? We never know the future.
okay.
5 years I might be more popular. I might have a more popular podcast than Joe Rogan. But honestly, I'd rather let you have that because I think you're set up for that, man.
Really. I appreciate it. Well, I mean, you can always start one if you want to. Yeah, it's always there.
We'll see. The option will always be there.
Yeah.
The option will always be there.
Yeah. So, on your so like when you said you were doing those videos, like what are some things that you would discuss about mostly?
Good question. I tried to think about how I was going to organize it. This was kind of part of the problem, see, because I wanted to sit down and come up with a plan on what topics I wanted to speak about. But unfortunately, I was in community college and there was not enough time. Some of the stuff I wanted to talk about was religion. Other stuff I wanted to talk about MMA.
Oh, really?
At the time, my boy Khabib Nurmagomedov, he was popping as a MMA fighter. I'm a huge fan of him, and like, so that was another topic I wanted to talk about. Maybe video games. I like video. I used to be huge on video games. Now I still like video games, but like back in the day. So it was like, as you can see, like I didn't have a specific set plan. It was just a bunch of ideas that I never had time to kind of like sit down and like organize completely. I tried, but it never really worked out in the end.
Really? That's interesting.
Yeah.
This is kind of cool. Uh,
I mean, what do you want to talk about in your podcast?
Honestly, just like a bunch of stuff. Because uh, I don't know if you know what the term like polymath like means. I don't know if you've ever heard that term.
No, Polymath?
Yeah, polymath. It's like basically like someone who is like kind of like really intelligent in like a bunch of things. You know what I mean? So,
Hmm.
and I feel like I'm like somewhat there, I would say, because
Mm.
I would say like I have like a pretty good understanding of MMA. I have a good understanding of like history, philosophy, and even
Yeah,
of course like alhamdulillah, like I'm also learning about like Islam and like religion in general.
nice,
Right.
mashallah.
So
Yeah, you know what the thing is? It's funny that you mentioned that because I feel like for you to take it to the next level is to have a podcast and to have all these various speakers come on and give their perspective and their life experiences because I mean it's similar to me right now. Like for example, I work as something called a medical scribe, which is basically where I take the notes for my doctor, I place referrals for him, all that stuff. And it's basically the doctor, the patient, and me. And I'm kind of sitting in the background listening to all of these patients and all of their life stories. And it's what I needed to take myself to the next level in the world of medicine because I'm learning about the real world, about what people actually go through on a daily basis. And so that's similar to your case where you're starting up this podcast and you're having all sorts of different speakers, like there's not one speaker that's going to be the exact same as another. We all have different life experiences. And when you're listening to that, you're gaining knowledge about what other people went through. And I think that's pretty cool. So. Yeah.
I appreciate
What is it? What's the word? Polymath? Polymathic? Polymyth?
math, like math.
Polymath.
Yeah,
Polymath. Okay.
math. Yeah,
So that's some pretty strong polymath going on there with the
yeah,
podcast adventure.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's for sure. I mean, funny enough, I do have a lot of like different types of people that have agreed to be that are going to be on, inshallah, like on here.
So
Of different like types of background and stuff, right? So you are right about like how not every person is the same, or even if they might be in the same field, but their
mhm.
journey might be a little different, or like their
Oh yeah.
idea of it might be very different too.
And different ideologies. I mean, like even like for example in the medical field, I can tell you right now, my coworkers and I have nothing similar.
Really.
Almost nothing similar. The only thing so far that I think we have similar with some of my co-workers maybe is like when I say co-workers, I don't mean co-workers as in doctors. I mean like maybe medical scribes. Like I don't know too much about the other ones, but like I like my other coworkers, but I know that some of them like MCU, like the Marvel Cinematic Universe, like that's something like we have somewhat similar, but like I at the same time I feel like we all have our own like unique life experiences,
Yeah,
where we all lived a completely different life, I feel like, or like almost completely different life. And so even when you're talking about the same job profession, you're gonna find different types of people.
it's true. And they even have different approaches to how they do that job, right?
Exactly. A complete different approach. For example, I'll give you a prime example. One of my coworkers, she was going on, a PTO, paid time off. She was going on a vacation, to I think Europe or something. So I had to cover for her provider.
Yeah,
Um, and so the style that that provider wanted and what she was used to with her medical scribe was completely different than how I would do it with my provider. Like it was a complete different tactic. One used Google Docs, one used a different system called Canopy, and like it was just yeah, even that, even the method of approach to work is completely different.
that's 100% true. Uh, so,
Yeah.
so how do you like being a medical scribe?
It's nice. I've learned so much. I've been a medical scribe for 5 months so far.
Oh,
This podcast is just gonna be like Usaid's experience of being a medical scribe,
really?
which is actually a video that I was thinking of making, funny enough, but
Yeah, you should.
maybe. Let us know in the comments down below if y'all want to see that.
You
But
should.
anyways, what's it called? It's good. I've been a medical scribe for 5 months now. I've learned so much, and for me at least, the job is very difficult because ba bachelor's does not teach you that much about the medical field in general. I always say that only about 5 to 10% of what I've learned in undergrad is what I'm actually going to need as a doctor, to be honest.
Oh, really?
Undergrad is more of just building character and building discipline, I feel like.
No.
Um, but for that reason, it's been very difficult, but in a good way. Like
Okay.
it's more like I like this challenge. I thrive for the challenge. And it has its highs and lows. It has its highs and lows for sure. But it's been good so far. Yeah,
Alhamdulillah, that sounds good because there's a lot of
alhamdulillah.
people that they might go into a field and they don't like it. So I like the fact that you're in the field and you actually do like it and enjoy it.
It's really nice. It's really nice. Even the field itself has its pros and cons, boss,
Yeah, of
if I'm being honest with you,
course.
Like everybody, there's not one person that's going to be like, "Oh, I'm a computer science major. I work in that field and I'm 100% happy."
Yeah,
Or like someone who's like wants to be a doctor or wants to be a lawyer or like this and that. Everything has its highs and lows. You're going to feel, down at times, but at the same time they're also going to have their highs as well. So, yeah.
no, but it's true. You know what's actually kind of funny? Like I remember like like a while back, I was actually reading on like the history of medical scribes. I don't know why. But like
Interesting.
yeah, like
Do tell.
yeah, because I was looking at it and you know the ancient Egyptians, right? They actually
Yes.
did have like scribes in general, but like medical scribes as well. And basically
Okay.
these scribes, like not only would they like be for medicine, but they would also like document like history and stuff, right? So
Oh.
that's how we know about certain things in history is because of these scribes, right?
Mhm.
And they would like just jot down notes and stuff. I mean, obviously, like even in what is that, in the golden age of Islam, they also had like scribes and stuff writing down stuff. So I
Mhm.
always found that to be like very interesting. Would you?
Wow.
Yeah.
That I did not know that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. No, I was actually kind of surprised because I was like, it kind of makes sense because I mean, like the whole like thing behind like history in general, it's like, people have to record things, right? And then
Mhm.
that's how we find out about the past, right? In general,
Mhm.
right? Or even like not even just history, just like any field, right? Like we have to jot down notes and
Yeah,
then
yeah, yeah.
we build upon it. So I always
Yeah.
found that to be very interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean I did not know that. That kind of like, not gonna lie to you, that made me feel even more proud to be a medical scribe because it's like,
Yeah,
wow, but at the same time, like it's also a good teaching way because you're not doing talking as much, you're doing all the listening. So you're taking in all
yeah.
this information. So for that, it's just, yeah, no, I mean,
It's true, 100%. I mean, it's kind of like I don't know if you know what like historicity is. I don't know if you've heard of that term.
historicity.
Yeah.
Is that like a YouTube channel?
Oh, no, no, it's basically like so like history, you know what history obviously is, but basically it's the people who look at the sources of where we get our history from, right?
Okay.
Yeah, and like obviously these medical scribes would be majority of what that is, right? Or I mean it
Mhm.
just scribes in general, but like of course like medical is just scribes as well,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, dude. Like, what's it called? Um, Being a medical scribe in general, like I initially wanted to do it, I'm not gonna lie to you, for the experience for medical schools. Um, just to kind of like have something on my application. And some people would say, "Oh, maybe you should do like ambulatory services instead, or phlebotomy, or this or that." And then some people would be on board with the medical scribe thing. So I had different options out of undergrad, but I'm really glad that I chose to be a scribe because I realized that now is the time to listen. Now is the time to take information. I'll have time to do the talking much later down the road, but right now is taking in
Learning.
all that
Yeah.
information.
Okay.
All that stuff that undergrad was supposed to give me.
That's fun. Nah, I actually do like that attitude because it's like, it's kind of like you have to take it. Yeah, before you can teach, you have to learn, right? So I
Yes.
like that.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very true.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, it's a common saying, right? We have two ears and one mouth for a reason.
2 ears and one mouth. Yes. You have double the ears, so use them.
Yeah,
Yes. Very nice.
yeah. No, it's interesting, you know. And I'm sure, like, it's actually sometimes interesting. I find that at least for me, I don't know about everyone else, but like once you learn the history of what you're going into,
Mm.
it kind of makes you a bit more into it because there's like a story.
Funny.
and you
Yeah,
feel like you're part of that story as well.
yeah. And funny enough, like I actually wanted to be a history major before I decided to go like the medicine route.
Really. Oh,
I did. I love history. I loved I'll never forget, I think her name was Miss Shams. She was my history teacher in high school, and I just loved that class, you know, the way she taught history, and like this all the stuff that we learned about. But like I guess what resonated with me the most in that class is I was so used to listening to you know, history, you know, lectures, I guess you can call them, in middle school and early high school in non-Muslim schools. And we were using these like just public standard textbooks that were just sounded so biased, so biased.
yeah.
And the only small section that they talked about Muslims was a biased information that made us sound really bad.
Really.
And so when I got to IFS, which is a private Islamic school,
Yeah,
I went
I
to,
know, I know that. Yeah.
yes, I started there as a junior. And then in my senior year, I had Miss Shams. And in Miss Shams' class was the history class, and it just resonated with me so much. Like all this unbiased information that we were learning that was actually really interesting, really cool. Coincidentally, I started playing a video game called Battlefield 1. And Battlefield 1 has a story mode that focused on World War One history gameplay. And I just loved it. I loved it. And through that video game and through classes with Miss Shams, I just took on a whole new appreciation for history. So now we're kind of like in the period table, right? Periodic table, I guess you can say, like a history timeline. So now going into college, I'm like, should I major in history? I love history, you know. I'm starting to do my own, you know, research on history, you know, learning about what happened in the past and stuff. And then unfortunately, I realized that there's not that much money in history,
Unfortunately.
unfortunately. And that's when I decided that I will continue to learn about history, but not just not as a job, more as a side hobby, you know?
That's fair enough. I honestly had no idea. That was pretty cool that you went through like that story of getting and attaining that love for history.
Yeah,
Unfortunately, obviously, I didn't have necessarily like a teacher that taught me like Islamic history per se, but like
yeah,
I was lucky enough to read books and get
nice.
information through that, I would say.
I was gonna say, like, you know, that's probably the next step because I'll be the first to admit it was a rare gem that I got to be in that class.
Yeah,
I would say if not, and for anybody listening out there, if you want to learn about history, the first way to do so is to pick up like a book, but not just any book. Like make sure it's from a trusted source. Like
100%.
I don't know if darussalam.com, like if you guys want to check out darussalam.com, they have some really nice books there. I don't know if they have any history books. I'm sure they do. Um, that's in my opinion at least. I can vouch for that website, you know.
I have read funny enough some of their books actually.
Really? Okay,
Yeah,
there you go. Do you approve?
I would say so. Like, I mean, there was, I guess, like a small mistake which I found were real weird. Like, it wasn't even a
Wait, there
history.
was a small mistake I found too. Maybe it's the same one. What did you find?
So it had the word jihad in there, right? And it
Okay.
translated it wrong. And I was like, I was surprised. I was like, how do you translate?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't
I
know.
will say right off the bat, I will say right off the bat to give the books the benefit of the doubt. And the
Yeah.
reason why I say that is because I think that a good amount of these books are first written in Arabic. So
Oh,
the author,
really?
the original author is Arabic.
Oh,
And what happens is the books that we get are in English, so they're translated to
translation.
the best of the ability.
Yeah.
And I guess I would say like take it with a grain of salt when you read books in general, not just from Dar es Salaam. The mistake that I found was, you know how it says La ilaha illallah?
Yeah.
The translation that the book read was there is no God worthy of worship except Allah. But that's a problem because it should be the way that they word it is there is no God worthy of worship. I feel like in a sense that's kind of saying there is no other God worthy of worship, like as in like there's other gods, and I just think astaghfirullah al-azim, like that's not how it should be. It should be there is no true God except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because all of the other people, any other, astaghfirullah al-azim, God or deity that other people claim there is, it's untrue. It is a fallacy,
Yeah.
So I feel like the right translation, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows best, and I know that there's other shuyukh that know better than me, but I feel like the true translation should read there is no true God except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You got to be very careful with this kind of stuff, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true, 100%. But yeah, you do have to be mindful, I guess, of the words you say. And like, of
Yeah,
course, with something like that, it's you have to be even more mindful.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like, aside from that, like translation mistake, I would say, for the most part, I would say like they were pretty good. I would say, you know what I mean?
So yeah. Yeah, I couldn't agree more. They have some really nice books. I've read a couple books from there that are really nice, so I highly recommend.
Yeah. Which books have you read, if you don't mind me asking?
I'll make note of two of them. They were both similar. They had to do with the health of a Muslim, and how a Muslim, like what a Muslim should do health wise in terms of eating, therapeutic stuff such as hijama, and various stuff like that, in accordance to the Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and Islam as well. Make sure to say sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
Sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. I
Thanks
made the
for
same
reminding
mistake
me.
too. Yeah, Habibi, of course, I got you, man. Because I make the same mistake too. Like, we have to make sure that when someone says Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, we repeat
Yeah,
sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
no, it's true.
Which is like I need to improve on too, like I said.
Yeah.
But back to what I was saying, yeah, the two books, I can't remember their names, but they have to do with. I'm sure if you search up health in Dar es Salaam, you'll find it. They were really nice books,
Yeah.
and they have some nice like imagery too and whatnot.
Okay.
So it's really cool.
Really.
Yeah. What have you read down there?
For Dar es Salaam, I read like three books so far that I can remember. There probably were more, but three books that I can remember specifically. One of them was a Khalid bin Walid book.
Oh, okay.
The other one was a Umar bin al-Khattab book. And then
Oh,
the third
wait,
one,
wait, about them or written
yeah,
by
like
them?
about them. Yeah.
Okay. That
Yeah.
makes more sense.
And then the third one was just basically like heroes of Islam, right? So basically like Sahabas that were alive during the time of the Prophet and how they helped spread Islam.
Nice. Nice,
So
nice.
those three books, I would say, especially I remember reading it as a kid, but then I reread it again like a couple months back, and it was like, I never realized like you miss some details here and there.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
can be
yeah,
like kind of eye-opening,
yeah.
you know. And I mean, another book that I read that I really liked. It's not from Darussalam though. I think it's like another company. I don't remember, but
Mhm.
it's called 1001 Inventions. I don't know if you've heard of that book.
Oh, I have not. 1001 inventions.
Yeah,
What is it about?
it's basically about like some of the
Inventions that Muslims made?
some like the inventions and the contributions that they made. And honestly, like reading that book, I was kind of like surprised because a lot of what it says is during the golden age of Islam, right?
Yeah,
And it was like, wow, like it made me realize like a lot of things. Like I was just surprised about like how they had some things back then that even we don't have today,
yeah.
successfully too, you know?
That's pretty cool, man. Yeah, I actually, like, for example, did you know that algebra was made by an Arab man?
Yeah, I knew.
Algebra, al-jabra.
Yeah.
So stuff like that. That's really cool. And then the first college or university to ever open up was opened up, I believe, by a Muslim woman, which is really
Oh
cool.
yeah. I think it's like the
And
oldest university still like still accepting people today.
really,
Yeah, it's
that's
in
amazing.
Tunisia, I think, or in Morocco. I don't remember.
Morocco, I think. I was gonna say I think it's in Morocco. So the fact that you said Morocco it's definitely probably in
Yeah,
Morocco. But yeah,
yeah. No, I was actually funny enough. I was actually looking at it just to see like, what they teach and whatnot, right? And obviously they have Islamic like studies and whatnot, but they also have like other subjects as well, which I found like I was like, this is actually kind of cool and it looks nice too. I
yeah,
never been there, but from like on Google it seemed nice.
yeah. I feel that. Um, I mean, I kind of want to do my own research on that now because it's I heard about it in the past, but I just never like looked into it too much. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No,
That's
I feel you.
definitely
Like sometimes I have a habit of just diving into things a lot. Sometimes maybe a little too much.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, like for example, I'm careful about watching Netflix sometimes because like you've mentioned, like I delve into things and I delve into it deeply and like that's how sometimes I am with shows. So like for example, there's a show that I just started today actually. I don't know about if you heard about him. It's his name is Jeffrey Dahmer, I think.
Oh, yeah. It's
Jeffrey
popular.
Dahmer. Yeah, it's popping on Netflix. One of my coworkers, they told me about it, and they're like, "Oh, you should give it a watch." So I was doing some cleaning today, and I'm like, "Okay, let me pop up the first episode." And I'm like, "This is some crazy stuff. Like, what is this, man?" But like, I'm at the same time, what I'm trying to say is like, I'm careful sometimes because if I get too invested in a show, then it's hard to like stop watching it, and then it's like it takes up so much time and stuff, you know. But like when with your thing, when you look into stuff like, the masjid and stuff, that's different. That's like knowledge, you're
Yeah.
looking into knowledge. So that's good. You should continue looking into knowledge,
Yeah.
you
No,
know?
that's true. Like I guess like it's like a difference between diving into something that that probably is not that beneficial for you and versus diving into something that is very beneficial for you. Like
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah.
well,
How's California treating you? How's school treating you?
alhamdulillah, it's going good. Uh,
Mm.
alhamdulillah, it's going good. I mean, luckily all my classes are online, but
What are you studying again? Computer science, I think you told
yeah,
me?
yeah.
Computer science. Nice, nice, nice.
You know,
How's what's
uh,
up?
were you saying something?
Well, you're a junior right now, right?
Yeah, basically.
Junior. Nice, nice.
Yeah,
Sweet. How do you feel?
alhamdulillah, pretty good. You know what's actually funny is the thing that you told me about like how when you learn the history, like I guess I told you a little bit about it, right?
Hmm.
And you were like, oh, I want to be a medical scribe even more, right?
Hmm.
And like I'll be honest, like with computer science, like I wasn't really into the field that much, and I wasn't even thinking about changing it. But then once I like learned more about the history, like I watched this like series a little bit. I still have yet to finish it, but I was watching it, and I was like, like this is actually kind of interesting. Like
Well,
the
do you
history.
mind if I ask which series?
Yeah, I forgot the guy's name, but I think like what's his name? Like he's pretty popular on YouTube. Like he makes like these history like videos with like uh
Oh,
I forgot.
okay. I thought you were gonna say Arturo.
Huh?
I thought you were gonna say Arturo.
I don't think so.
No, Arturo, the Turkish show? No?
Oh, no. Wait,
You
that.
never watched it?
No, I've heard of it. I haven't watched it though.
Boss, come on, man. You gotta catch up, man. Listen, when we're done with this podcast, you need to go to Netflix and search up Arturo. It's a very good show. It's about a man. It's about the father of Othman. Othman was the guy who started the Ottoman Empire. I'm sure you've heard
Oh,
of the Ottoman
yeah.
Empire. So this show is about his father and how he kind of paved the way for his son to start the empire. And I didn't finish it yet. I'm on the beginning of like season 3, but it is amazing. I highly recommend you to give that show a watch.
For sure. Yeah, no, I've been meaning to, but I don't know. I just haven't gotten around it. To be honest with you,
Okay.
like, just in
Mhm.
general, I don't really find myself watching shows. Like even if I do watch a show, right? I
Yeah.
most I'll watch like up to like 50 episodes and then I'll stop. I don't know, like I just
Well, I feel that though. I feel that because like you don't want to waste your time, and at the same
yeah,
time you're like, okay, this is getting repetitive kind of thing, and like
yeah,
I can get that perspective for sure.
yeah. You know what's funny is I had a friend, right? And I'm sure you've probably heard of like anime, obviously, right? He was trying to get me into anime, and he was telling me about like uh, what is it, One Piece?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, One Piece, yeah. And
Oh,
yeah, and I think he told me it has like over 1,000 episodes, and I
it
was
has like over 1,000. I don't want to start that.
and I was like,
And
bro,
it's like I don't even know what that show's about. Is it like a pirate and he can
yeah,
extend his
it's about like
hand
a
and he's
pirate
like
and like
I don't know if he's a
love.
hero or an anti-hero or I don't know what his deal is.
I
And I
haven't
heard
watched
they're
too much
still making
to tell
mangas.
you.
I don't know if they're still making mangas to this day, but it's just like I don't want to watch that.
Yeah.
That's
No,
too
I feel
much.
yeah, no, I feel you. It's just like I have a life. You know what I mean? And I don't want to spend
Yeah.
most of it watching
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
know that's gonna take most of it away. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
Because I'm just like, man, like 500 is already a lot. Because he was trying to get me into Naruto too.
Naruto's fine. I watched the first I watched a good amount of episodes from Naruto. I think the first 40 episodes, 40. But they have a lot of episodes themselves, and then they have Shippuden as well, and it's just too many episodes, and it's like, yeah, this is too much for me. I don't understand what's going on. Like Hokage or something like that with the red eye. I was more into shows like I started off with Dragon Ball Z,
Yeah.
right? And then I watched One Punch Man, Attack on Titan, a little bit of My Hero Academia before the fans got weird with that show. And a couple other shows here and there, but that's pretty much it.
Yeah. Oh, I
I
feel
don't
you.
watch as much anime myself, to be honest, which I think is a shocker because when 10 years ago, I used to be huge on anime. Like,
Oh,
if anybody thought of anime, they immediately thought of me because they knew how much I was into anime. And now it's like, I feel like people around me are into anime, and myself, I haven't been watching it as much. I'm like, oh, okay,
yeah.
you know?
The
But,
only anime I probably grew up on, like watching, and if that's even if it counts, because some people might not even count them, is Pokemon and Beyblade. Like,
Pokemon, I mean, Pokemon kind of, yeah.
yeah,
But Pokemon's cool though. There's this app that they came out with. It's called Pokemon Go. Have you ever heard of it?
yeah, yeah. I used to have like back when it was more popular. I did have an account on.
Yeah, I really wanted to get into it, but I had a bad phone and I had bad internet connections, so it never worked out. But when that game first came out, I really wanted to, especially because, correct me if I'm wrong, but can you duel with other people?
I think,
No.
yeah, like I think at like gym leader, like once you go there, I think you can, if I'm not
Oh,
mistaken.
you have to meet at a specific place.
Yeah, I think so.
But then you can mute, what's the word? You can like battle with them basically.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I haven't played the game in so long, so
Yeah.
I don't remember it too well.
Okay.
Yeah,
Huh. That's pretty cool.
yeah,
Hmm. But yeah,
no, that's true. Um,
what's it called? I was gonna tell you, but I was talking about how I wanted to start a podcast.
yeah.
I just remembered. I can't believe I forgot this. I actually was in charge of a podcast.
Oh, really?
Yes, yes, it was for an organization called the MAS, Muslim American Society. And one of the youth, I think his the position is youth director or youth coordinator or something, but he oversees like the youth for nationwide, or at least he did at the time. I think he still does it. And he was like, "Hey, Usaid, do you want to lead a podcast project?" I'm like, "Sure." And I was co-leading with a sister, and like we did various episodes, and it was pretty cool. We did episodes like it was focusing mainly with an audience of high schoolers, and we had different discussions like mental health discussions, drug related questions or discussions, like stuff like that, and it was pretty cool. So I thought about that. I'm like, wait, why didn't I mention that at the beginning?
Well, I guess it's good that you mentioned it right now.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
but it was
well,
pretty
that's
cool
pretty good
to.
though that you were diving into those issues.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
So before we end off, do you have any I guess like do you feel like you have anything else you want to say that you didn't get the chance to say?
Yeah, to anybody listening to this podcast, blow this up, man. Help my boy out, Blue Rings. Like, share it everywhere. Like, comments. Is this gonna be on YouTube?
Yeah, inshallah.
Like, comment, subscribe for more. If you're not subscribed, subscribe now. Like, take the second to subscribe. Come on, like, what are you waiting for? And wait for more episodes because when Blue Rings is big and he's gonna be famous and you're gonna be like, oh my God, I wish I could get an autograph from him. You probably can if you're a subscriber. Like he'll probably like reply to your comment, Blue Rings, so you'll reply to their comments.
Yeah, inshallah I will. Hey,
Sure.
as long as it's not a like a weird comment for sure.
Okay, there you go. As long as it's not a weird comment, I think that's fair enough to ask. So,
Yeah.
like, comment, subscribe for more, support our friend. He wants to get bigger with this podcast thing. And look at him. He already invested in the setup. I mean, he has the clear white background with the microphone. And I'm sure do you use an editing software?
Yeah, inshallah, I will. Inshallah.
Inshallah. So he's gonna invest in that too. So guys, all he needs left is your support. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, I really appreciate that. Yeah, that means a lot. Yeah,
Yeah, of course, man.
yeah, I
Of course.
appreciate the support. And I'd be more than happy to have you on here again, like a bunch of times for sure.
I'm down. I'm down. Just let me know, and I'm down, bro. This is hopefully the first of many.
Yeah, for sure. I
Yes,
really appreciate it.
for sure, man.
Yeah.
Alrighty, brother. Thank you for having me on. Appreciate it as always.
And I appreciate you being like on here as well.
Yeah, man. All right. Take care. Assalamu
Yeah.
alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.